Hi, if you're new here, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe, like my videos, and engage my videos. Thank you. So in my last video, I talked about mastitis and breast engorgement. In today's video, I want to talk about period and how it affects lactation. This is going to be very useful. This information is very useful to mothers that are exclusively breastfeeding their babies. So, initially, I'd like to talk about how it is researched. Well, according to research, it happens to great amount number of women that if they exclusively breastfeed their babies, they do not see their period till at least 6 months after breastfeeding. But in my own case, my baby was, I think, barely 2 months when my period came back. I initially thought it was still blood flow from delivery. I mentioned to my gynae, she only said I should watch it and I should come back if it continues. When I later found out it was my period, I didn't bother going. Then there was an online forum that we new mothers were added to by the clinic. When I discussed my concerns there, I noticed that even those that gave birth later than I did, already saw their period. So some people said they saw their period twice that month. So I concluded that it was my period. I came back smiling at me at 2 months. What was my reaction when that period came? I was like, what did you come and do, you period? Can't you just chill? Can't you chill more for me? But then, period. In fact, when I check my calendar and I keep saying, it's almost there again. But we thank God for periods, right? So, the disadvantage is that there's actually an effect of period on lactation for exclusive breastfeeding mothers. I myself didn't realize this until I was about I think 4 months 1 week. I just missed my period. I just knew that it dropped down in my milk supply. I started thinking that what could cause it. Google is my friend. So I googled a lot of information trying to know what is the cause. Right then, I actually had mastitis, so I was on antibiotics. And I was before I was doing antibiotics, I was on malaria drugs. Initially, when I went to the clinic to complain of breast engorgement and pain, the doctor did malaria tests and came out positive, so he placed me on malaria drugs. I knew that was not the reason why I was having fever. Breast engorgement actually gave me fever. I had fever all through the night. I was feverish. It raised my temperature. My temperature was 38 degrees, or close to 40 if I'm not mistaken. That's how bad breast engorgement can make you feel. High fever. So I knew it was not malaria giving me fever, but since it came out positive, I can't argue with my doctor. So I went ahead and I took the malaria drugs religiously. Fortunately, after taking the drugs, unfortunately, about 2 weeks or so, the pain came back. So I had to go back to the clinic again this time around. The doctor ran another series of tests and found out that I had mastitis, which is infection of the breast as a result of breast engorgement. That was what was giving me the high fever and pain. So I think I concluded the malaria drugs. I hadn't even started eating back very well. I had not increased my fluid intake. Then mastitis again, I was giving antibiotics. So I now had to also use antibiotics. I had to religiously take the antibiotics drugs. Those that know me proud to this time, I don't like drugs. But since I took in of my child, I've been deliberately and consciously following up with some drugs that I'm giving at the clinic for the sake of my health and for the sake of the child. Even though I do say that my routine drug while I was pregnant, I was not very religious with it, with the excuse that I was actually vomiting. I will share my labor, my pregnancy story some other day. This period is for breastfeeding, exclusive breastfeeding video. So guys, as I was saying, I had to take antibiotics drugs again, and that affected my eating habits and my water intake habits. So this all affected, and I just missed my period. So everything bombarded 3 in 1 affected my milk production, and there was a really drop down in my milk. I struggled from 4 months, 2 weeks till I got to 5 months. I struggled with my milk intake for like a week, 2 weeks before I eventually got my drive back. What I did to boost my milk supply simply was I used bananas, and I also took a lot of fluid, and I ate turkey. How did I know turkey works? I googled and I noticed that research says protein helps in boosting milk supply, especially turkey. So I ate turkey, I ate banana, I took milk, I drank tea, I was taking pap, and make sure my fluid intake increased. That was how I was able to get back my milk supply. Not until when I now had a drop down in my milk supply when I was 5 months, or when I was a week to 6 months postpartum. That's a week to 6 months end of exclusive breastfeeding. I noticed that there was a drop in my milk supply. Then that was when I now linked it to my period. I noticed that it was my period also affects my milk supply. So what did I do? As I said in my previous videos, if you have not watched it, please try to follow these videos. They're all linked together. As I said in my EBF journey summarized, that lactation cookies that I got initially when I was 4 months, 2 weeks were not, I'd start lactating well before the cookies arrived. So I just took them, I was just freestyling on the cookies. So when I was a week to 6 months exclusive breastfeeding, I had to go back to the cookies. When I took the cookies and I wasn't getting the effect, I tried to remember what I googled then, which was protein, especially turkey. So I made sure I got turkey again, and I took bananas. They really worked for me, banana and turkey, especially banana. I took lots of bananas, and within 24 hours, I saw drastic improvement in my milk supply. So how can you actually help situation if you are exclusively breastfeeding? It is advised that you actually store milk so that when there's a drop down in your milk, the baby will have something to take in, to drink. During the time you have to re-establish lactation and increase your milk supply. So guys, there's a direct, indirect, or direct relationship between milk supply and lactation. So the best way to do it for if you are exclusively breastfeeding and your period has showed face like mine earlier, first 6 months, it is advised that you store milk maybe 2 weeks to your period. Intentionally store milk, store excess milk, so that when your period comes and your ovulation comes, while you try to get yourself back, and when you're on your period, try to intentionally keep taking in fluid. Keep taking in fluid. And try to eat well, eat protein. So when your ovulation has ended, then you can re-establish lactation and increase your milk supply. Thank you guys for coming again to my video today, where I talk about the relationship between milk supply, that's lactation, and our period and our ovulation. If you have any questions, as I do say, if you have any questions, kindly drop them in the comment section. I would gladly reply them, or if there's anything you want me to say in my next video, please drop them in the comment section. Thanks for engaging me as usual. See you in the next video, where I'll be dropping something related to which is exclusively breastfeeding as a 9 to 5 working mom. Dear, it can be quite challenging, I won't lie about that, but then we can pull it through, right? So I'll talk next in my video how I was able to juggle exclusively breastfeeding my baby as a 9 to 5 mom, and also and as a side-by entrepreneur. As I said in my introductory video, I make one of the best chin-chin in Lagos. And to keep in business, I still make my chin-chin, and I do 9 to 5, and I exclusively breastfeed. So I'm not portraying myself as a superwoman. I'm just trying to say that EBF is possible if you are determined to do it. Thank you and bye. See you in my next video. Hello guys, if you're over here, Mommy Royal, Mommy Royal, Mommy Royal, Mommy Royal, Mommy Royal, Mommy Royal.